Hey everyone, this is Elias from Red Match Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2025 Volkswagen Golf GTi. Now, can this thing still live up to its heritage? You know, that classic Rabbit, that Mark II, that Mark III with the VR6, that Mark IV with the 1.8T, and so on and so on. Yeah, let's see if this thing still has it. So let's go ahead and get started. We get started in the front and we have the Alpine Silver Metallic, which looks good. Now, it wouldn't be my first choice. Yeah, I kind of like a little bit more red colors, a blue, yellow, bright colors, but it's not a bad silver. I love the way that this looks. It does kind of have a bluish hue to it, and the fact that we have a very bright blue sky right now is kind of helping with giving that reflection to it. But it looks nice. Now, I love this front end. It really looks, it reminds me of the Ninja Turtles in the best possible way. And we have these nice LED headlights with the red stripe on the top to connect both of them, which is just iconic Volkswagen, iconic GTi design. And yeah, we do have the GTi badge right in there, and we do have the illuminated Volkswagen badge, which looks really nice at night. And then at the bottom we have those awesome fog lights, which are a unique design. We have 5 of those shapes down there that are basically the LED light for the fogs, which I think looks awesome. Like I said, it's definitely a unique design. Not your typical single fog light. We have that spread out across those 5 little lights there. And then at the bottom, we have the grille opening for the cooling. And we also have for the radar system for the cruise control. But yeah, overall though, this looks really nice. I love it. Just beware, you're kind of on the low side, so beware with that little front lip down there of damaging when you go to park. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's under this hood. We get under the hood and we have the 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine, and it is cranking out 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 7-speed DSG automatic and sending the power to the front wheels. Now, a couple of things with this. The gauge cluster does have a boost meter, and it was showing at idle that we are in positive boost. So I did, now again, my limited knowledge, my understanding is that if you are not really hitting the turbo power of it or being at idle, it should technically not be in boost when you are literally in park. And yeah, I'll show you guys. But reached out to my Volkswagen rep and they said, yeah, that's normal. That's gonna be expected behavior essentially. And yeah, so what Volkswagen says is that the maximum turbo boost for this is 32 psi, which seems like a lot. But with that kind of 5 to 6 psi that we get at idle, I guess that's why they're able to make the torque so low, because the torque actually kicks in from 1600 RPM to 4500 RPM. And you feel it. You feel it in the sense that it doesn't feel like a turbocharged engine. It feels like you just have a supercharger or a very powerful, naturally aspirated engine, which I like. Its linearity is very nice. The power band is very smooth in that sense. It doesn't just kind of kick on or off like you would in a more traditional turbocharged engine. So love the fact that we get that. And yeah, you can hear the sound getting pumped in. It sounds great. So it's designed in a way that is nice and clean. So I love it. I love it, and no issues with that. The DSG, yeah, the DSG is fine. I know, I want a manual too. But the power delivery is really good from that DSG. And yeah, just first gear, just kind of be aware if you kind of let off the brake and then hit the gas, it's going to kind of give you a little bit of a jolt. And then we have that front wheel drive system, which I do need to kind of get to my notes because it has something. It has the VAQ limited slip front differential lock, which has been incredible. This thing locks on so well and it just gets the power down. I love it. It's it definitely feels like you have almost a rear-wheel drive car because of how little it washes out, you know, with this being a front-wheel drive configuration, and the way it just kind of gets this thing rotated. It definitely feels like it's got a little bit more than just it being a front-wheel drive, but it is. So you want all-wheel drive, you get the Golf R. But I don't know if let's just say this is great. This is great. Can the Golf R be greater? Yeah, sure. But if you don't have Golf R money, let's just say you'll be really happy with this. And of course, there's those tuners out there that can give you a little bit more power, but I think this is a great balance to things. Highway passing, oh my gosh, this is great at highway passing. You just floor it and it just drops the gears down so good, and just it's gonna be in boost. It's gonna be in boost and just going. But yeah, that's what we get with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have this nice 18-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 225/40 Goodyear Eagle Sport all-season tire. Now, I love that we have this awesome twist design to them. They have just looked incredible. Of course, Volkswagen owners love to personalize their car, so if you're gonna go aftermarket, you could always have the choice. But honestly, I kind of like this setup. I like this setup, just like I said, straight from the factory, so it looks really good. And we do have kind of that black insert as well that kind of helps give you that turning effect to it there. Now, the tires have been great, awesome grip, no issues with that. We do have a tiny sidewall, and that suspension combined with that, it is going to give you a lot more of the road feel. So we are dealing with more of a sportier feel to this. Don't expect a plush ride. This isn't the vehicle for it, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? My wife doesn't like rough driving cars, but she loved this. She loved this because it was in such a rewarding way to feel those bumps. So don't be discouraged if you don't like bumpy rides. Take this for a test drive, and I'll tell you, you'll definitely enjoy the way that this feels. And the brakes have been awesome too. Get this guy stopped, no issues, just the feedback. It's such a feedback machine. And yeah, you're definitely gonna love it if you like engaging and feedback giving setups. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have on the side. We take a look at the side, and this thing looks incredible. I love the hatchback design, my favorite overall. Coupes, convertibles, 4 doors, yeah, hatchback. Give me a hatchback and I am a happy man. But one thing I did notice about this is it sits really low. I was surprised at how low this thing sits. This is probably one of the lowest GTIs in every generation, because I remember with my Mark IV, I was like, man, this thing looks like a monster truck. I need to put some lowering springs on it, some coilovers or anything like that, or, you know, new suspension to lower it. I don't know if you have to lower this one because it's just that low, but it looks really good, especially with those 18-inch wheels that, yeah, just kind of give you that twisting motion. It really looks like it's moving when it's standing still. So love that design. And that hood just sweeps down and it looks incredible. Great line of sight as well. And we have kind of that lower lip in the front that comes over on the side skirt down here, and even in the back, as you can peek out a little bit there. We do get the beautiful, very classic looking GTI badge here on the door. And these mirrors, yeah, they kind of fold upward. It looks really cool. I kind of like this over just it folding inwards towards you. So I really like this design that we get with it. And we have the black framing around the windows as well. And one thing as well is I love the line that we get that basically appears from the fender, starts to develop a little bit, and then just sharpens up and goes all the way back to give you a nice line for design there. So loving that. Now this is the base trim. So with the key fob, you do have to use the button to unlock it because, yeah, there's no sensor here. I don't recall, but I will put it on the lower area here if the higher trims have keyless entry. So in this case, we do have to use the key fob. So we have to press once to open up and be able to get the door open. Now, this does have, like I said, it's a low car. So if you, for pets, it's great. When you get into the back door, it's easy. And also for kids. And if you're not as, able with, especially with taller vehicles, this is a really nice car to just be able to easily get in. And for us shorties as well. So love the fact that we have that. And again, yeah, I do have to kind of unlock twice to get that open, which again, I said easy entry, pretty decent opening as well. And kids, pets, older parents are good to go. So yeah, love the side profile. So let's take a look at what we have in the back. We get to the back and this thing looks awesome. I love the rear to this GTI. So we start with the spoiler on the top, which looks nice, very small, but very subtle. And yeah, I think it does the job of having just a nice little line of that iconic rear hatch. And then we have the opening in the rear, which even though it's kind of on the small side, there's tons of visibility. So yeah, we don't get a fancy rear view camera or anything like that, but with just the mirror inside, I had no issues with being able to see what was behind me. And then we have the wiper on here, which was nice to go ahead and get this cleaned. The taillights look really great. I love this design. We have a lot of intricacies inside of this red plastic with the clear bottom down there. So love the fact that we have this design. Looks nice. Again, clean and classic. And speaking about clean and classic, that GTI badge down there just looks incredible. With, yes, this is where this Volkswagen badge is where you are going to get that rear view camera when you put it in reverse. It actually goes ahead and opens up there. It also doubles for the hatch opening, so you'll be able to open up the hatch there. Come to the bottom, and yes, we have dual exhaust tips on this, which are really, really nice, and they sound great as well. Yes, granted, I do have some of the sound getting pumped inside, which I don't mind it. I usually do with these things getting, artificially sounding, but it sounds good, first of all, and it is designed in a way that it doesn't feel weird or doesn't feel like it's coming from the speakers. So they definitely have tuned that nicely. But yeah, love this rear. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have in here. Now, to open up the back, you do have to have the car unlocked in order for this to function. So you go ahead and do that, and it unlatches from the car. And yeah, you do have to kind of pull from there, and we get not a bad amount of space. Yeah, so I don't mind this amount of space that we have, especially with it being a smaller hatchback. So I do love the size that we get. We do have a little bit of very, very, very tiny area here on the sides of the back. We do have a floor that is thankfully a little bit lower, because I have seen, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Mark 5 or 6 that had the floor that was flush, and it wasn't a Golf R. So glad to see that we have a little, just ever so slightly lip, because sometimes we really need that a little bit to avoid things from really falling out. But we have this, and we go ahead and lift it up, and to my surprise, we have a spare tire. Thank you, Volkswagen. Thank you for providing a spare tire in today's day and age when we don't get spare tires. So love to see that. And yeah, just kind of funny how it is a Ling Long branded tire. But yeah, we have this, and we have obviously your jack, your tools there. We can still store some things there. You can see we have a little bit of a lip or a little storage area if you need, just to kind of hide things away, even though we can hide things with the cover on the top there. And we do have this, so we do have the option to go ahead and pull this down, and we have for a pass-through, which has been nice. If you have long items, ladders, dare I say, or your skis, or just something long, you're able to go ahead and get in there for that. But yeah, that's kind of what we get in the back. We take a look at the door, and it looks a little plain, but I'll be honest with you, it functions really well. So let's start at the top. This is where I've been putting my arm to rest. It's been comfortable, especially at the height that I've had the seat. So it's made my shoulder and my arm be able to rest there with no issue. So loving that. We do get the door opener there. We have our lock buttons. Then we come over to the window controls, and yeah, they've been fine. No complaints about them. Nothing unique, nothing different. Nothing wrong with them, which is the important thing, really. And then we have this kind of like a micro suede finish to this, and it feels really good. It feels really nice. Yeah, probably a little life would have been nice. Maybe put it in a red color, but yeah, it looks really good. Feels really nice. Then we come down here to the storage area, and a good amount of space there for a big water bottle, as well as for maybe something else here. And then we have the speaker here, which has been nice. No complaints about it. Been able to literally just turn up the volume, no needing to dial in anything weird with it. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with the door. We take a look at the seats, and these things look awesome. I love the plaid that we get with this. I love the shape to it. The finishes are really nice. The stitched GTi, you can see the red on the back there as well. It just is a really nice seat. Now we do get a heated option with these, and we don't get power, or at least not everything is power. So we do have the reclining option for power, but if you want to move forward, you have to do it manually. If you want to kind of lift it up, you got to do that manually. If you want your lumbar support, you got to do that manually. Now, which kind of had me thinking, so if we have one thing that is powered, I don't know if I'd want the reclining option. I would probably want the, the option to get closer to the pedals to be powered instead of the reclining. But yeah, that's kind of what we get. Now, it's still not a big problem because I was able to find a nice sweet spot for my seat. But yeah, that's kind of what we get in the seats. We take a look at the steering wheel, and this thing is really nice. Love a lot of things about it. So first, let's start with the finishes. So we have a nice little dimpled material here, and we have the softer material on the top, and then again, the dimpled lower part here. We're gonna have that cool GTi badging that is right there. We do get the red stitching, so yes, we have the awesome red stitching, which I'm a fan of, and definitely for a GTi, it deserves that red stitching on there. And then we get to the controls. So on the left side, we have the cruise control options with the volume controls down here. And then on the right hand side, we have our controls for our gauge cluster and for our previous track and next track on there. In the middle, we have the Volkswagen badge, which I love. It's got that black chrome, and it's kind of like, it almost looks like it was melted into the horn, which I gotta tell you, this horn, I've been loving it because we've had some scenarios this week, and let's just say that the horn has been great at just really like, hey, what the hell kind of sound to it. So love this horn on this. But we have a beautiful kind of shape to it here where I'm able to just easily grab and comfortably grab. We do get paddle shifters, so we have the down gear there, and then we have the plus, and it says off. So it says off because that's how you can turn off the manual shifting by just pressing and holding, and it will go back to the drive or sport depending on what you had it set to. But yeah, love that. And it's just been good. Only thing is, there is kind of a dead spot. Now, obviously, I'm stopped right now, but yeah, we kind of do get still a dead spot when we are driving, and then it kind of tightens up. So I don't know if I like the feel of it when it's that dead spot, but once it like kind of catches, it feels so good at just giving the feel that we have for it. Now, one thing I do want to mention, which I have been really loving, even though obviously we don't really need to use it much nowadays, but it's the light switches that we get here on the side. I have been loving the placement because if I want to turn on those really unique and awesome looking fog lights, I can do it by just pressing that button there. So Yeah, oh yeah, and the defroster options there. Love it. It's I guess it's just a good use of space, that I love that we have it there. We get over to the gauge cluster and we have an all digital display, which has been really good. I love the options that we get with this. So first, let's start with the kind of overall view. So I can press the view button on the steering wheel and we kind of get these different looks that we can. This is probably more the sportier route because we just see one tachometer. We really don't care much about the speed, because if you're on track, you're not going to say, okay, I have to maintain that speed. So yeah, it just gives us the tach for the next gear. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with the different views. Now, inside of each one of these, we do have different options. So I'm going to talk about the boost a little bit. And that was one of the things that I saw. We are in park. We are stopped completely, as you guys can see, and we're in 6 pounds of boost. Like I mentioned, with my limited knowledge of vehicles, I was kind of surprised that we are technically in positive boost as opposed to vacuum. Either way, I spoke to my Volkswagen rep, like I said, and yeah, they said that that is right. It's supposed to be in positive boost, which again attributes to just that smooth power delivery and that torque curve that is just really, really nice. But yeah, we get that, and it's nice to see it go up to 30 something. Yeah, but it's nice. But if you don't want that and you kind of want the different options, you can do no display, average, economy, you know, travel time, distance, average speed. Like, there's a lot of great things. We'll just kind of keep it on performance there, so you can see basically that what we get. Actually, we'll put it in boost, and then we have the option for the middle as well, which we can change. As you can see with this view, we can change to map, to the safety kind of settings there, and just kind of your MPG's situation. And then you have the option of clearing it there, you know, just kind of your typical things with that. And then again, with the different views, it'll just kind of stay whatever middle, minus again the track, what I would say track mode or track view for that. So yeah, kind of loving this setup there that we get with it. And yeah, we've been getting pretty decent MPGs with this. And then obviously on the right hand side, we have those options as well for that. So yeah, I've been liking this. I have no complaints about it. I think it's a great setup, and Volkswagen really made good use of those, yeah, of the gauge cluster screen, unlike other manufacturers that are so limiting with their options. We take a look at the infotainment screen, and it's a little bit on the big side. And I think it's more because the interior, with this being a sport compact, it's going to be a little bit smaller feeling. So everything, it just looks bigger. But it is kind of like an iPad-sized screen, with it just kind of laying on its side horizontally. Now, the other thing as well is that it is kind of positioned kind of higher up. And it is a little bit on the tall side as well. So just kind of be aware that this is kind of my line of sight vertically, and just be aware that, yeah, if you like to sit really low, this might start to kind of creep into your field of vision over the windshield, which is not that big of an area as well, so just be aware of that. But yeah, I love this screen. It's nice and big, it's nice and clear. We do have the wireless Apple CarPlay, as you can see, is what I'm have here. Now, yes, it has a lot to it, but you'll start to kind of get used to it, and it's easy to navigate as well. One thing I do want to show is the assist systems. Now, this is something that I love that Volkswagen did, is a lot of these safety features have these like very marketing names, and it's just like, oh, it's for like lane keep assist, like literally keep in the lane and assist us assist us in keeping in the lane. But no, all these other brands have their own names to them. Just keep it simple, which is why sometimes it's hard that when you have it in a list view, you're wondering which is the one that I need to turn off, that may not be working the right way, because there's a lot of them that don't work the right way. Not with Volkswagen. So they've kept it pretty easy to explain it in the list view, but I like the image view because I want to be able to visually say, oh, that's what that is. And the one I'm going to change is the lane keep assist, because I didn't like the way that it was kind of behaving. Plus, we have some bumps on some roads that we are having to kind of get on the line, so to speak, to avoid some really gnarly potholes. But I love the fact that we have this, and you can see when you press the line, it's going to take you and explain to you what it is. So I can go ahead and turn that off and then go back, and you can see it's no longer in blue, it's in white. Now, you press the speed limit, and if you don't want it to be chiming because you're going over the speed limit, you could turn it off. Or, you know what? It's a nice little helper, because this thing is quick. This thing is quick, and that speed really catches up to you. So we want to be able to do that. But yeah, and also we have the lane change system for side assist. Blind spots, basically your blind spot monitoring, and you can change, you can turn it off or turn it on. And then obviously we have the brightness that we can do there, that we get. Let's see, you probably might not be able to see it, but that is what I love about this. Such a simple thing that brands can just do it like this. And obviously, when you keep it in the list form or show us something like this, make it make sense, because sometimes you just want to turn one specific thing on or one specific thing off. But yeah, that's what we get with that, and love this screen. Then at the bottom, we do have our climate system options right in there, and we have our kind of sliding buttons for our temperature there and for our volume. It is there we go. It is a little tough to kind of see when you have the piano black finish and you can see the reflections. So it's not just the camera, I'm actually barely able to see it from where I am because of that reflection. Then we come down here and we have some kind of buttons that look like they're afterthoughts, but they're actually very important buttons. So again, we have that assist system that we were discussing earlier. We do have the parking camera that we can bring up. Yeah, only rear view camera. We don't have a 360-degree system on this model. And then we have the drive modes, which I have. Oh yeah, climate, but then let's go to our drive modes, because I want to go ahead and show you guys the different drive modes that we get. We get eco, comfort, sport, and then custom. And then custom, we can go ahead and customize it to what we want. And there are a lot of different options that we can for this. So yes, like I mentioned, we do get the engine pumping in, but it actually sounds good, so don't worry about it. But yeah, we can see just quick descriptions of what they are. Ooh, that thing just woke up right now once we hit it in sport, and right now it just calmed down. So this is how I kind of like my system, where I do have the everything kind of sport minus the drivetrain, so we can stay in eco, and we can have the MPGs that this has actually been able to really accomplish. I think we hit like 35 at one point. So yeah, if you baby it, it'll reward you. But then you can still be sporty about everything else about the GTI. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with that little cluster. Oh yeah, and obviously your hazards button right in there. And underneath there, we have the two USB-C connections that we get if you need to charge, but not to worry, because you do get a wireless charger that we have right down there. And the great thing about this is that yeah, it's kind of out of the way. I love the feel that we get with that. And we're gonna go ahead and try my chuck test, and literally I can just chuck my phone and it will charge, and it will really charge. Because yeah, so I was gonna film this and I had to actually drain the phone a little bit because it had actually charged it all the way to 100%, which at that point it just stops charging because you're at 100. But yeah, love the fact that we have that there, and it is just kind of out out of the way with things. Doesn't take up too much space. And it's not going to move either, and it's a big opening for different size phones there as well. And then we come back a little bit and we have this area here, which you can see it's being plagued by the piano black finish that we get. But let me try to get closer, and we do have the engine start stop, so it's right there on the center console. We have our parking, we have our very tiny shifter, which at first I was like, oh, this is kind of I don't know, I kind of wanted more, but it hasn't been too bad. So love the fact that we get that there as the shifter, and then we have the parking brake, which I've been using pretty frequently with this. And then we have the area here on the side, which has also been great for me just kind of placing my phone there if I don't want it to charge. But yeah, that's kind of what we get in that area. We come back here and we have our cup holder area. I call this the area because it can be other things. It can just be storage as well. So it kind of opens up, and you're probably wondering, well, that kind of looks like just one cup holder here, but it actually is two, because you push this button and it kind of closes there for you to put a water bottle there, and then obviously your cup here. Only problem is they kind of suck. They kind of suck because they are so close together to really this as well, but from each other, that if you have anything slightly oversized than a standard kind of water bottle like that, then you're going to be paying for it, and they're going to be kind of squeezed to each other. So just kind of be aware of that. I've been just literally using one and passing the other ones to my kiddo to have in the back there. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunately our cup holder situation. But we do get the 12-volt adapter option there, which I think is kind of nice to kind of have it back here instead of the front, so that you don't have to really run a cable from, you know, just kind of front areas to the passenger side. You're able to just kind of essentially plug here and then go straight to the passenger. But we also have the area here for the armrest, and actually the armrest itself has been comfortable. No issues with it. It does have a little bit of give. We have the nice stitching. Only thing is that yes, it's kind of on the low position, and I don't know if apparently I missed this in the Jetta, so I made sure that I didn't miss this in the GTI. But yeah, you can kind of ratchet it and reposition it so it can be higher and pull it out as well. I don't know in the Jetta if it works like that. I was told it's kind of like little legs or something like that kind of hold it, but I like this system. This is kind of the system that I want. So let me know if you have a Jetta, if it kind of works this way where it kind of ratchets and then just kind of positions. But I like it. The storage is kind of small, so just be aware. I do have literally just my keys in there for my house, but yeah, other than that though, that's kind of what we get in the front. We get to the back, and yeah, the back door is very simple. Nothing wow about it, but nothing wrong with it. So we do get obviously the top part, which is nice to lay your arm on. We have the door opener, we have the window control there, nice soft material here as well, and same thing with this there. And then we also have the little area for storage. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with the door. But once we kind of get in, and we have more of that plaid seating, which is just really, really nice. Love the way that this thing looks. Yeah, and my kiddo has been loving it. He likes the design that we get with it. Just want to show you the back of the front seats. We do get some storage areas here for the back seats, or for the back of the front seats, really. And then I do like that even though it's a small car, we do get the vents for them in the back for my kiddo. So he was really nice and cool when we had these hotter days. And then he has his USB-C connections down there, which are a little kind of tough to get to. He was kind of struggling to see what was there. So probably would have liked it if they were maybe there instead. But we get that. Oh, his seat was easy to put in as well. Just a matter of going ahead and unlatching that, which comes down, which I like because they stay there and you don't lose these things like I always do with these press cars. But yeah, we have that. And then, like he likes to say, his hidden cup holder. So he has the cup holders there. And then he goes, Dad, look at this. And yeah, you can see, you can also open up the pass-through from here. So he has that option to just kind of open that up and throw something through there as well. So love the fact that we get that access from in there. But yeah, that's what we get with the back seats. Now we take the GTi for a drive, and this thing is nice. So a couple of things. Yeah, that first gear is going to be a little tricky in this DSG. It's going to act kind of like a manual. So you do have to kind of ease off the brake, let it roll a little bit before you hit the gas, or else you're going to kind of get a jerky feeling of like you're driving a manual and you pop the clutch a little too fast. So just kind of be aware of that. You're just treat it like that and you'll get a very smooth takeoff, you know, for everyday driving. For performance, just gun it. Just gun it, and it will reward you there as well. But it's really nice. Now, we have a sportier suspension, so yes, it's not going to be the smoothest. Yes, it's going to translate a lot of what's on the road. As you can see, it's kind of moving me around a bit, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I enjoy it. I embrace it. I love it. I love it because it's giving me what's on the road. And so again, if you're looking for a more plush ride, the GTi, and I'm going to purposely hit these, may not be for you. For me though, I like that. I like that because I know what my tire is doing. And yes, sorry that I'm shaking the camera, but that's the point I want to kind of get across. So you are going to kind of get that feel. But everything else is so nice. The seats are nice. The ride quality is rewarding. We have the steering wheel, which feels great. Again, it's still going to have that little dead spot initially. As you can kind of see, it takes a little bit for it to kind of kick in. So just be aware. But once you're kind of hitting more performance side of things, you'll definitely get the response that you want from a steering feel like this. Now, we're going to go ahead and switch our drive mode. So I've had it in my custom mode, which again had everything minus the eco power because I wanted to save some MPGs. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's leave it in. Oh gosh, that was a hard kick. I was not expecting that. I guess I was in third gear and it kicked it down to second gear, which is probably the best for a DSG. So it feels really good at delivering the power. And yeah, those shifts are good when you have them in the sport mode. Now the brakes feel awesome. The turn-in is incredible. Let's put the power down. Let's make that, yeah, power delivery get transferred correctly. And let's just say it does a great job at doing so, getting the power. Understeer is almost, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a front wheel drive car that's turning like a rear wheel drive car in the sense of it not just kind of washing out. And it's just unbelievable response. I am loving how good this thing is. It's just incredible feeling. Again, we brake, we turn, and we accelerate, and it behaves so good. And it doesn't sound bad. Yes, I know the sound is pumped in, but it's really not a bad sounding, and it doesn't feel like it's coming from one source kind of thing, which seems awkward, or it doesn't sound like it's coming from the speakers. So let's go ahead and see how we do with the 3-point stop. So yeah, steering wheel did tighten up a little bit once you kind of get past that dead spot. And yes, all the sensors are going crazy, telling me I'm gonna hit the tall grass. And let's see, yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, we cheated a little bit right there putting a wheel down, which is kind of scary because this thing is really low. But yeah, I think we did pretty good with this. Now we've gone ahead and we've set up our race box. It's our telemetry box. It does our 0 to 30, 0 to 60, and it's also drag timer as well as a lap timer. Great all-in-one package, great company to work with. I'll go ahead and put my link in the description for a possible little discount. Now we are going to go ahead and put this guy in sport mode, and what I will tell you is that we cannot brake boost this for too long. So we have to be really good about how we go ahead and get our timing right. So we'll go ahead and brake boost it a little bit and go. Okay, so let's talk some numbers. We're dealing with a 0 to 30 in 2.44 seconds and a 0 to 60 in 5.87 seconds. Now that seems about right, and it feels great. It feels a little bit faster than that though, because this guy can really kind of get going as well. So yeah, and of course there's always those tuners out there that will give you more power, but I'm just really surprised with this little turbo engine and just how it uses that power, that little turbo. Now it, like I said, it doesn't feel like an on and off switch of the power coming on. It almost feels supercharger like, and I like it because it makes it predictable, and you're not, you know, for the track, it's nice and balanced feel to it. So yeah, this is definitely if you're looking for something like a sport compact every day, you know, front wheel drive, yes, we do have a front wheel drive. Yeah, this is really a great package to essentially work with, and it sounds great. Yes, I know it's getting pumped in and we're getting this artificial sound, but it doesn't sound bad. Let me go ahead and switch it back to my custom mode, and we go back to eco, and yeah, now that's the great thing about this, is that duality. Again, we're able to have fun in a sport hatchback, which is again my favorite. I love hatchbacks, and the Golf is what gave me that love. Again, owning that Mark IV and now driving this, we still get that spirit of the GTi. We still get that spirit of the Rabbit first gen. We still get that, you know, 1.8 turbo feel that we got in the Mark IV, the VR6s, and now we get it with this. I feel like the essence of the GTi is still in this. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Volkswagen Golf GTi. Remember, find the right gear. See ya.